I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Education and Culture Committee, and let's bring it on. Councilor Soap, would you be willing to offer the motion?
Please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, creator of all things, we come to you this afternoon, Lord. Just thank you for the many blessings you sent our way, Lord. Just thank you for taking care of our people in the last few weeks, Lord. Just pray that you be with our families, be with our soldiers overseas, Lord, and be with us as we make decisions and on to the council meeting tonight. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Next we have roll call.
Julia Coates. Here. Don Garvin.
Aye.
Bill England.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Charlie Buzzard.
Here.
Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk. Meredith Fraley. Here. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Chuck Hoskin Jr. Tyler Gloria Jordan. Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Soap.
Here.
David Thornton.
Here.
Kara Cowan Watts.
All I need.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Next is approval of the minutes. I move, accept the motion to approve.
Madam Chair, I move with one correction that ACES is AISES.
Okay, with that correction.
I will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will move to reports, and first we have from Career Services. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Stephanie Isaacs for Diane Kelly. I believe you have a report. Are there any questions?
Ms. Watson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What's NACTEP?
Our NACTEP program, the Native American Career and Technology Education Program, which is childcare, business office technology, and then every once in a while we may put some type of computer training component in there, but basically it's that.
But that's different from Talking Leaves?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Stephanie, have we had any on the
OJT NEG?
that grant?
The new one?
Haven't got any, have we placed anybody yet? Or
Yeah, we have about 5 current applications, but we're still needing more people. Hopefully the criteria was supposed to have been sent out within the last month to you. The criteria is a little bit unique on that as far as what rounds we have to work in, but we are still looking for more participants for that.
And are we going to try to ask for an exception or exceptions on the policy as far as placing those with any government entities, or is that something that we probably shouldn't even ask for? Or, because I just feel like the employers out there right now are not going to take these people on. They're going to have a hard time placing them.
And it is
It
is some strict criteria that we have to work into. You know, we're about 6 months into the 2-year grant as it is. I know they had a joint conference call with some other agencies throughout the state, and they're producing about the same numbers we are, 2 or 3 here, 4 or 5 there. If that opportunity arises, we certainly will, and I really don't know if they're going to be able to fluctuate that criteria or not, Harley, at this point.
Well, I would, some of the federal programs that I've worked for, we have asked for some exceptions on those, and actually have got some, because maybe you need to wait another 4 or 5 months to show that it's just not getting as many people out there as we like, and do the exception then. So, anyway, just a comment. Thank you.
Okay. Are there other questions?
Thank you very much.
Next we have the group leaders report, and Mr. Bunch, are you reporting from the site today?
Thank you. I believe you have our report, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Ms. Watts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the, I think it's Mr. Faddis's report, there's balanced scorecard measures, but it doesn't, and it says item that we're measuring, but it doesn't say what the goals are like the other reports and such. Like, what is success?
Okay.
Year-to-date accumulative and your annual goal.
And you're on the
STEM report, so the robotics and all the other stuff, like how many current chapters do we have, and what's our goal for additional ACES chapters, and the...
I believe we have six chapters. 6 active chapters. And so you're inquiring about our goal for,
Well, I'm really just asking, can we incorporate it into the report? Because that's what I'm used to, like, reading, so I don't have to ask questions. And,
yeah, I believe we can do that, no problem.
And then, like, what's the year-to-date, like, left, if there's budget remaining and all that other stuff. Or,
Okay. We can certainly provide that at the next
And then
meeting.
congratulations on the NSF funding and John Ross's work on the Cabell Salazar case. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Other questions? It's not. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have Head Start and Ms. Thompson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm happy to answer any questions you might have beyond the written report.
Ms. Jordan?
Oh, we're still at our limit on kids
Yes.
maxed out. It's 600 and,
680 for Head Start and 210 for early.
how much for the early?
210 and we're still in limbo about the ARA funding that goes through September 30th, and that's what they're debating about, whether to continue all that expansion, the 48 children we got out of that pot of money. So we're still waiting.
Have we heard anything yet on our audit?
No. I hope surely by this time next month I will have a report for you, and hopefully we're dancing the streets about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yeah, just a comment, maybe a question with this comment. At our Head Start centers, I know we have Cherokee work there, a lot of them are speak Cherokee. Is there anything, I guess what I'm getting at, I'd like for them to start teaching those kids up there when they're 2 and 3 years old. Is there anything saying they can't do?
Oh, no, they do all
Oh, they
they
do
can.
do it?
Yeah. If we have bilingual folks, which we only have 7 in the entire program,
Yeah.
and some of them know words and phrases, and with early Head Start, that's all they need, so we tell them, don't hold back, go ahead and teach them all that you know, and they have all of the material that the immersion classrooms have. We're getting ready to start the 2 immersions in the children's village to
Well, and I'm happy to hear that, and the reason I say that, this little kid, I believe my great-grandson, is in a center, and I'm home speaking Cherokee, and I thought, well, great. And so I didn't know if that's a curriculum that you actually give to them.
we always have, yeah.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
Actually, it's part of our performance standards. When they come and review the audit she's talking about,
Yeah.
they come in and it has to be evident in the classrooms that they do that. So we're very proud that the ones that can really run with it and the ones that can't try their best.
That's good.
Any other questions? Thank you.
That's it, thank you. And we have the leadership group, Mr. Enlow.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to apologize because due to the weather and several other activities, I didn't get my report in on time, and this meeting actually snuck up on me completely. So a couple of things I'd like to share with you. On January 29th, we had the Night with the Cherokee Ambassadors event there at NSU. We had about 275 to 300 people in attendance, and our future leaders shine brightly. It was emceed by Miss Cherokee, and we had Junior Miss Cherokee, or Little Cherokee Ambassadors, the Youth Choir, and the Youth Council. It was an opportunity for them to get out and introduce themselves to the public, as well as to give their elevator speech. And so we had a formal receiving line, had a nice dinner, but the other thing is they raised $2,000 for the Angel Tree program. So I'm very proud of them. They all did a great job with that event, and we hope to do that again next year. It's a great opportunity for them to get out and get some exposure and put them in an experience and an environment where they can learn. The other thing that I've been reporting on for the last couple of months has been our Cherokee hire rate in orientation. And so basically that's the percentage of Cherokees that we hire each month. And I'm recalling this from memory. In October, we were at about 83%. In November, we were in the mid-80s. In December, we were in the 90s. And in January, we dipped back down to about 85%. But I'll get you the exact numbers in that 4-month total so you can see our trending and see how we're doing. So it's something we're paying attention to, but something that we're doing much better on as we monitor that. Currently, our total Cherokee population and employee base is about 81 to 82%. So we're trying to stay above that, and every month so far we've hit that mark and gone above and beyond.
Other questions? Mr. Wilson?
Todd, is it Cherokee hire rate, is that Cherokee citizens?
Yes,
Not Cherokee, but Cherokee.
that's our Cherokee citizens. Yes, sir.
Ms. Fisher?
Todd, here a while back, a couple months ago, I had asked about the survey you all done on the employees and how satisfied they were. And you said you're going to break that down and send it to us.
Yes. Did you not get that email?
You sent one to me, but you hadn't broken it down by the groups.
Oh, as a summary
Rehab
level?
versus, yeah.
Okay.
Remember you sent the overview,
Okay.
you said you'd.
I'll
follow up.
update that and I'll send it to you based on each group. Yeah, I'll send it to the whole council.
And then how are I also asked you about 2 months ago, at the same time, I was talking about this, about exit interviews and what she was coming up with on that.
Yes, they just started the exit interviews, back up again with the nice formal survey. And Michael Vitello's group is collecting those as they exit, so that the last contact they have is with, I believe, Julie Justice in the HR department is the one that's conducting those interviews. And they've got about 5 to 6 months worth of information. And so they were trying to tabulate that and pull it all together. So I'll talk to Michael about it, but they should be able to start to share some of that
Do you know if there's a
information.
common trend that people's going to be signing?
Not at this point. When I talked to Michael about it, it was just brief discussion and said, yeah, we are collecting it, but they hadn't even analyzed it because they didn't have that much information yet to see if they're reading
I'm
trends.
curious, have you heard anything? I get more and more complaints from people that we've offered jobs to. And this is the latest I heard. They was offered a job, they sit for a panel, they sit for another panel. Now they're having to send the application onto a finance group that I didn't know we had to make sure the money's in the budget.
Now, that's been a process for quite some time, just to make sure it's a process that HR has, just to make sure that if their budget allows for 11 full-time employees, that they're not hiring 13 and 14, so that we don't get into a situation where we overhire.
Then why would we advertise for a position if we didn't know the money was there?
Sometimes,
Why don't we do the checking before? That sounds silly.
well, they do that. They do that when they advertise, but that's typically when they do it. It's when they advertise. HR gets that personnel request form, and then they send it on to the finance. So you're saying they're doing the checking after
Yeah,
the
I've
offer's
gotten
made?
Either 2 or 3 calls. I know I've had at least 2 calls that says, well, they said we're okay, but we got to go towards the finance group to see if the money's in the budget. And this was after they went through the other 2 panels. And
It may be an internal deal. I'll have to check, and I'll see if I can get with you later on and get some details and see if that was, if they started them at a midpoint or had negotiated a starting salary, if it was higher than what the normal. So we can talk about that and see.
thank you.
Councilor Buzzer?
Yeah, Todd, and just to follow up on the council fishing offer, and I have, several complaints about how long it takes to get a person hired. Sometimes it'll take 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and by that time the person's already got another job, and we spend all this time of trying to get the person and recruit them, and they're gone by the time that we can get them. And as far as the budget goes, those should be in the budget when we do the budget process at the beginning of the year, so we know, so that shouldn't be a hold. The other thing, and this is just a suggestion, Todd, and I'd like you to take it under advisement, instead of having the exit interviews done by personnel over at HR, I would like to see it. I would recommend that person go through the exit interview at another department, say under you. I just think there may be some intimidation for that person to go to HR to do the exit interview. He could get some good feedback from those people. I mean, sometimes if they go to HR, they may not feel like they should say what they want to say, but if they're talking to another person, you could probably really get some good feedback then. I don't know, just
Okay, I'll discuss it with Julie. We talked about that a little bit, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor Soap?
I was just going to comment on the budget review process. I think that's a good process to have in place, even though you establish at the beginning of the year that you want this number of people in your department or such in September. Things might change in June, so it's a good thing that you do go back and check that from a financial standpoint to make sure that everything is as it was planned, or if things have changed that you don't overcommit. So I think that's a good policy. Thank you.
Todd, do you also, the exit interviews are simply with people who are leaving employment with the Cherokee Nation totally. Do you also do any kind of an interview with people who may be transferring to another position to see if there's any sense of dissatisfaction with their present position that is causing that kind of transfer?
We haven't done that up to this point, but that is one of the change in employment from one position to another that we are starting to look at more heavily and see, and that's. But we haven't done any exit interviews related to that.
It's Fishing Hawk.
And also another complaint, I know when Michael Patello called here and presented that PowerPoint a year or two ago, I know Harley asked about it, but several of us did. The other complaint I'm getting is people that have sat for the panel and they're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting to hear whether they got picked or not. And when we talked to Michael and Cindy and all the other entities, they were supposed to start mailing them, if nothing else, postcards to tell them, sorry you wasn't, chosen for that spot. And I'm getting calls from everybody saying you all are not doing that.
Okay,
And I want to know why.
I'll check on that.
Because I thought that was agreed to with you all and all the entities. So did you get back with me on
I know
that?
that they've done some, but I'll check and see if there was a gap or if something happened, or if we're not doing it across the board for some reason.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I do have one final thank you. I'd like to thank Councilmember Jack Baker and Ms. Coates for your assistance with the two young ladies from Salem, North Carolina. They were both very upstanding young women, and we look forward to the opportunity for some of our students to join them there on their campus in North Carolina. So thank you very much.
It's also in the paper.
I appreciate your crediting me with that, but that was entirely Councilor Baker, so thank you, Jack.
I got a question.
Wait a minute.
Education, higher education, you want me real quick?
Mr. Bunch?
I had gotten a couple of calls, and I'm curious. I heard that we was looking at ways to cut money out of the budget again this coming year for higher education, and it totaled several million. And I'd like for you to check in on that and let me know something about it,
Okay.
out of the scholarships. Have you heard about it?
I don't know that we're looking to cut funds out of it. I know we are looking to increase expectations in order to help students graduate.
I hate to say this, but and I'm part of a politician. When somebody says that they are looking to increase expectations, I automatically think, okay, if we're not cutting budget, are we raising the bar so we don't have to cut the budget, So could you just get back with me on that, please?
Certainly will.
Because a couple of people got a hold of me, was fairly sure about looking at cutting education.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we move to old business, and there is the status update on the STEM strategy plans, and is that,
Yes. I believe that's-
might as well remain where you are.
I do believe that Ms. Knight covered this quite a bit at the last meeting. Today I also brought along with me some of the same folks. Mr. Gary Crawford, he's the Dean of Academics at Sequoia Schools. Greg Simmons, the manager of the College Resource Center. And Daniel Faddis is the manager of Public School Outreach. In case there are any further questions, I believe several questions were asked during the last committee meeting. But I'd be glad to report on anything else.
Ms. Waltz?
Congratulations on another successful science and engineering fair. I thought it was outstanding. I appreciate all of the staff that were putting in extra time on this Saturday to make it happen and stuff. And it was
Thank you.
really glad to see. I wish we had more schools and stuff participating. This doesn't speak to staff performance, it's just frustrating. There's not more schools showing up, I think, and such. So, and I appreciate all the council people that took time to come through that Saturday. Thank you. There were several.
Thank you. It's a great fair. Lots of quality judges there, and I appreciate your support of that.
Councilor Soap?
Yeah. Mr. Bunch, is this a localized focus at the Sequoia schools, or is this something that will impact the 14 counties that are at large? This program we're looking at, what's the extent to the depth of this STEM program we're looking at?
Well, I think during the last committee meeting, several questions were fielded. We do have our own plans at Sequoia schools, which Mr. Crawford can speak to, and I believe he spoke to at the last meeting. But certainly we're always looking for ways to cooperate with the public schools. But on a lot of it, we kind of have to approach them or wait for them to approach us as well. Every school's a little bit different. Every school's got their own priorities. We are certainly willing to assist in any way possible. Daniel has several programs that he offers to schools, and he meets with them regularly. So,
Thanks.
Are there other questions or comments? Well, thank you. Thank everyone for coming today. We move to new business, and we have a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to Health and Human Services Administration. The information I have on this is that this is an ANA, Native American Language Preservation and Maintenance program. It's a 3-year project to expand the existing online Cherokee classes, Cherokee language classes, and it will request $300,000 a year for a total of $900,000. There is a $225,000 in-kind contribution, but it is not a cash match. It is employee salaries and such, is my understanding. So the total grant request is $1,125,000. This needs to go to full council tonight. Is that correct? The due date is March 8th. Okay. And thank you.
Second.
Any questions? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next, we have announcements. Our next meeting is March 14th at 3 p.m. Are there other announcements? Mr. Bunch?
a couple of quick announcements that you may be interested in. Sequoia Schools is having their annual 8th grade day open house, and that will be this Wednesday, I believe. So all the area schools have been invited to that. It's a shorter session this time, and accompanying it, there's going to be a date following, Mr. Crawford, the 22nd, where it's a parent night where parents can come back and with the students and tour the campus and meet some of the faculty and that type of thing. One other thing, Dr. Shelley Butler Allen invites you to the JOM conference banquet, and that's also in the report. It's at the Tusa Hard Rock Casino, and that is in March. She said the first evening would be the best evening to come. She's expecting over 500 people at this conference. Actually, it's February 28th through March 1st, and I believe she said the first evening, February 28th, is a large banquet. But I believe she's also sent some other announcements on that.
Ms. Fisher-Rock?
Yeah, I was reading the paper the other day. Can you tell me the outcome of the Sequoia schools, the girl that they had appealed, went to court on? Or no, they hadn't appealed yet, they went to court.
I believe that was an unsuccessful ruling for the girl. She wasn't ruled eligible to play this
Are they going to appeal
season.
it?
You know, I can't say on that. I'd have to find out some more information.
I got a question. Who paid for defending that? Who paid for her lawyers? Did we do it?
Well,
I'm seeing some names in there, and I'm wondering if we supplied somebody with the lawyer.
Okay, well, I know it was the principal chief who represented the young lady.
And there's from the Attorney General's office there.
I'll have to find out on
Would you
that.
please find out, would you give me a total on how much it costs to supply this legal
Okay.
funds?
Certainly will.
And if they're going to appeal it. Okay, thank you.
Are there other announcements? Yeah. Stephanie?
I apologize. I failed to announce that on Thursday, March the 24th, from 2 to 4, we'll be having an open house of our learning center over here across the street. Yes, it used to be a bar, but now it's a fabulous facility. It houses our, that's what everybody asks. Is that where the bar used to be? Yeah, but if the walls could talk now, it would be a lot better. That's where our adult education program is housed. Our life skills classes are kind of originate from there. We do it throughout the 14 counties, but that's some of what the building houses. There will be a ribbon cutting at 2 o'clock. The local chamber will be coming out. So please come by, see it. We'll have some light little finger foods. We'd love to show you what we're doing. Thank you.
Mr. Enlow.
And I have one other. On March 22nd, that is a Tuesday, we will have our leadership summit between all of the business and government entities with our leadership teams from each entity. We plan on about 350 to 400 of our leadership team, and that's where we're talking about our future, the things, how we're doing, and giving them information so they can go out and communicate with 8,500 employees, making sure that we're all on the same page. So that will be Tuesday the 22nd, and it'll be at West Salem Springs Casino.
What time?
Should start around 10 o'clock in the morning, and we will conclude somewhere between 3 and 3:30. But I'll send you a formal calendar invite as well.
Thank you. Any others? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?